Hi everyone, I just wanted to share this video of changing the bonnet release cable in a 2005 BA Falcon. I think the BA and the BF's the same. The actual new cable itself I bought straight from Ford for about $50. So I'll just give you a brief rundown on how I pulled it apart anyway. I'm not a mechanic by trade. So you just got a couple of screws here, that comes off there. This slides out of there. I know my car's very messy. Now this section just pops out here. I just used a big screwdriver to get it out. It's pretty messy, but anyway. Right, so I've already put the actual cable in, but once you've got that back and out of the way, you can see up in the corner here you'll see your old cable up in here. So what you can actually do is just get a pair of side cutters. You see this little rubber ring, you can cut it off there, pull the ring out, you can see this tiny little hole here. Alright, so what you want to do is when you get the new cable, the little ball bearing thing that's on the end, poke it through that hole. Alright, and that's it for underneath the behind the fuse box at this stage. Alright. Alright. The next thing I did that the Ford mechanic instructed me to do was to jack the car up, take the wheel off, which I've done. Make sure you use jack stands or whatever, be safe. Right, and then the next step is you've got to remove the inner wheel guard, which is just, it's got a whole heap of these, it's got a whole heap of these crappy ass screws, which they're sort of, they're located there. There's one up the top, there's one down the side. Just pull out all the screws. Right. Once you've done that, let that drop. Make sure you never get underneath the car, just for safety. And you'll see that little hole that I was talking about before is just here. So you'll see a little cable sticking out of here, and the old one will be here. So what you want to do is unclick the old cable. This is the new one, but yours will be old obviously. You want to unclick it. Usually sits up in there. You want to unclick it, and then you want to just let it hang down. So you can grab your new cable, pull it through, make sure it's sitting when you put it in. Make sure it's sitting in these white clips, because if you don't put it in those white clips, I'm pretty sure when you're driving it's going to be rattling and it's going to drive you absolutely nuts. So you're going to pull the cable into here, and you can actually see that you can see the bonnet release cable is just in front of the battery here. So you can pull it through there, pull through there. Alright, the next part that's relatively simple is to pull out these little rubber screw plug things. A little tip with those, it's got a Phillips head attachment on the top, but it doesn't actually do anything, which is annoying. So what you want to do is get your screwdriver and stick it underneath the little inner ring there, and that will make it pop out. And then if you're having troubles, just get a pair of pliers, or I'm using wire cutters, just gently, and you can pop them out. So you got one there, lift that straight out, and then you got the little clips in the bottom there, so you can put that aside. Now this top section here, similar thing, you got 1, 2, 3 and 4. Same thing, pull that out. This this just slides out like yay. I'll explain why that string's there in a minute. Right, so this is where you have to connect the new cable. So you got 1, 2 bolts, so they're just done up finger tight. Obviously you've got to undo that yourself. Now this thing, I know it looks very complicated, but it's actually very, very simple. So you would have pulled the old cable out by now, and it's quite easy access. Oh, that's not very good. It's quite easy access to get the new cable through. So what you want to do, see if I can get this on camera. So you can see, oh, I lost my bloody screwdriver. So you can see this little tiny bit there. What you want to do is, well, I ended up just cutting that little section out of the old one, but what you want to do is push that down, and then that little ball will come out and up, and then you can see these little 2 plastic washers here. They'll click into place, and then bang, that's all good. Alright, so just pop it back in exactly how you found it. Now you get your nuts, pop those back in, pop those back in. Now you can do this before just to test it. You can do this before you put all the front back together. So tighten those bad boys up. So make sure they're nice and tight. Your cable's all in place. What you can actually do is get a bit of string. He didn't tell me to do this, I did this just in case. I just got a bit of string and tied it to the end there, so that when I shut the bonnet, just in case something has gone wrong, I can manually just release it. So that's just to save a bit of trouble, just in case. Now we come back to the front. Now, I'm pretty sure the original part of the fuse box was this little white thing. Mine snapped off, but the new thing that Ford have made is they've actually made it work with the old, and if it's broken off as well. So all you do is click that back in place. You'll see it's pretty self-explanatory, and then yeah, reassemble, stick all this crap back on, all the screws on the inside, back, put your wheel back on, yeah, and you're good to go. Hope this helps.